Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for using my creator code whenever you purchase any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com. I receive a 5% commission each time you use my code, which means you're directly supporting me as a creator. I know there are a lot of codes floating around out there, so I am very grateful that you've chosen me to support in this way. Thank you so much. Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And this is actually going to be my very first build with the brand new Businesses and Hobbies Expansion pack in the new world of Nordhaven. And I had no idea what I was doing. Let's just put that one out there right now. I had zero plan going into this build whatsoever. I was just looking at a lot of the shells and some of the builds in this surrounding area to try to make something. My plan was basically like, okay, have one side of this building, whatever it is, make one side of it a little bit more industrial and the other side a little bit more modern and contemporary with like a lot of that Scandinavian influence as well in the shape. And I liked it. It actually came together really nicely. I was very surprised. This was also my very first time actually going into the game with my early access, which I will thank EA once again for early access to this pack. But yeah, this was my very first time actually going in and looking at all of the objects as well. So this build, even though it's not that big and not that detailed, to be fair, is actually a little bit longer than I anticipated because I didn't know what was what. I had no idea what these objects really looked like. Like I had mentioned, I think in maybe another voiceover or something, that I had at least watched part of the live stream and things. So I got like a glimpse at the objects, but I didn't watch any like build and buy overviews, which I typically don't do that because I want to go in to a new pack and really explore everything for myself. The only overviews that I did watch were more so Create Sim because I was just very curious, and I spend a decent amount of time in Create Sim, especially when I'm playing the game myself. So I figured, why not? I can spoil that for myself, you know? But as you can see, the shape is kind of coming together. I'm trying to figure out exactly what we were gonna do here. So as you can tell by the title, this ends up being a tattoo and pottery shop, and then upstairs across both of the buildings, which I thought was kind of a nice way to expand the space, is actually a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. So it's great for a single sim or a couple. Maybe one of them owns the tattoo place and the other owns the little pottery studio. You know, and I chose those two things mainly because they are the two, I'll say, new skills / hobbies that we got with this expansion as well. And actually, I am going to say this because I haven't explicitly said it, but I've been thinking it for a while. I'm confused by the name of this pack. Like, I understand the business side of it, but the addition of like any hobbies, like we really just got the pottery and tattooing as hobbies, if you will. I don't even personally consider tattooing a hobby. I would consider pottery more so a hobby. However, I guess I could maybe understand the alignment because essentially what you can do is you can take any hobby, any skill in The Sims 4 and pretty much turn it into a business at this point. But I'm still a little bit confused by the title of this expansion, to be completely frank. I don't really get it, but I have been having a lot of fun exploring the gameplay. I've been transparent that I wasn't super excited for this pack. Like, I was excited to see what it really did and how it expanded upon what we already have. But for me and like my gameplay, it might not be something that I use super duper often. I don't know. There's also so many possibilities with the gameplay and the ability to create so many different home businesses that maybe I just haven't thought of ways that I would play with it more frequently. I don't know, it's still very, very new. I mean, the time of me putting this up on the channel, it is launch day, so the pack is gonna be available to everyone. So if you're planning on getting it, that's super exciting. I hope you enjoy it. And if you're not, I would be very curious to know why, like genuinely, because as I've noted, I got the pack for free through the Creator Network, and I'm very much like a I finish collections. I'm very much a completionist, so I probably would have purchased the pack for myself anyway. But there's certainly reservations that I have about it, as cool as I find a lot of the features. But anyway, I could blab on forever. We're on to the interior, and the first place that we decorate is actually the little tattoo shop on the more so modern side of this build. And I loved it. I really did. I liked how it came out. I have, like I mentioned, I've been playing around with the pack a little bit. Playing with the tattooing skill was pretty fun. Here, I'll balance this out. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is that there's pretty much just like a couple of standard animations for tattooing. So for example, if your sim is giving another sim a tattoo on like their upper arm, anywhere kind of on the upper body, I think on the front as an example, they'll basically be tattooing their stomach for the animation. It's just not specific to where you're actually giving a tattoo, which I wasn't a big fan of. I wasn't super happy with that at all. But on the flip side, I love that your Sims can mess up tattoos when they have a low skill, and your customers are going to be pissed. They might not even pay for their tattoo and they will walk out, which is pretty realistic. If I got a really, really bad tattoo, I probably refuse to pay as well, and I would walk out, and then I would probably go somewhere else to get it fixed, But it has been fun. It has been fun. And making this space was really nice too. I went for a very dark color scheme, as you can see, and I didn't add a ticket kiosk here. So if you are unaware, probably not, probably seen a lot of early access content at this point, but if you have a ticket kiosk, you can either charge a flat rate for Sims to access whatever space you have, whatever services you're offering, or you can charge an hourly rate. And you can also do that on top of offering various services. So for example, if I wanted to, I could have added a ticket kiosk to the tattoo shop, and I could have Sims have to pay like a flat fee for when they enter the shop in the first place. And then on top of that, I can charge them for giving them a tattoo. Seemed a little unfair if you ask me, so I didn't do that. But on the other side, in the Pottery studio, I think I did add a ticket kiosk because it's primarily for Sims to come in and use the pottery wheels to create their own pottery compared to purchasing already created items. So it's less of a retail space and more of like a studio space. But there is only one bathroom, I believe, for both of these facilities. So this is the one and only bathroom. It's very plainly decorated. I didn't even mention, this is base game and businesses and hobbies only. I tried to stick with just the new expansion and a base game for this, really just to see what I could end up creating. So hopefully that makes it a little bit more accessible to some of you as well. But now we're working on the little pottery studio. So I added a ton of pottery wheels in the center. We have one kiln. So not a lot, gotta take your turns. We have a little seating area. And then as I mentioned, I did add the ticket kiosk here too. So Sims do have to pay either an upfront fee or an hourly rate to be able to use this pottery studio. I don't know what would be standard for something like that. Do you all know for spaces like that? Like I have no idea if it would be standard to have to pay an hourly rate or just like a flat fee. I would assume an hourly rate if you had to really like rotate people out. I did add a couple of shelving units here just with the option, if you were to download this, if you wanted to sell some of your own pottery creations, you could do that as well. It all comes down to what activities you add for the business. So I believe there's like an activity of like sell items or something. That could be that could be incorrect. But there's also an activity of like do or make pottery, and that means that customers will actually come in and make pottery. So, you can play around with that. There's a lot of customization that you can do, which is why I think in so many ways this pack is great, because it really, really opens the door up for so many different business opportunities. But yeah, anyway, we're working on the apartment now. I'm like all over the place because I haven't really talked about the pack that much and what I think. And this is my first build with it. So I was just like thinking through all of the things. But anyway, this is the apartment. So there's a really big open concept kitchen, living, and dining space, which I really, really liked because I had so many big industrial windows here. It lets so much light in. I thought it was really beautiful. And I went with kind of I'm not going to say like a dark color scheme like the tattoo shop by any means, but some darker wood tones and things like that. I tried to use a lot of the new items, but I also tried not to force it too much. I just wanted the space to look nice and decently decorated. And let me say, I used one of the fireplaces downstairs in the tattoo shop, and then I used this other new fireplace. in the living room and I think in the bedroom, I love those fireplaces. I very much love those fireplaces. I think they are gorgeous. And it was kind of nice because I just snuck this one into the corner there, but I could see those being perfect for like a 70s build or something, and you have it like right in the middle of a living room. Do you know what I mean? Can you picture it? Because I can. I think it would be so cool. I really, really like those fireplaces. But this is very plainly decorated, like I mentioned. I just have a love seat here, an armchair. We have the TV kind of off to the side as to not block the great view that you get with those big windows that I added on this little tiny modern extension to the industrial side. And then again, since it's just base game and the new expansion, this entire kitchen is a base game. And it worked perfectly because I love this industrial set from base game. I think it's great. And we only have one countertop to use though. So if you are going to do the cooking together interaction, just be aware of that. We also have the 6-seater dining table. And then I just add some other miscellaneous decorations. I somehow remembered to use these decorative pillows that were from base game just to add a little bit more of a custom touch to this space as well. And I'm trying my darndest to not forget those darn burglar alarms now. I haven't been burgled yet. I haven't been burgled yet in my gameplay. I have thus far only recorded like one episode of gameplay, at least with this new pack. And because of all of the bugs and glitches right now, I haven't been doing other gameplay. I've been saying this for a while now, and you're probably going to hear it in future voiceovers. I have been pushing off filming a lot of gameplay, at least in specific LPs and save files I have, because some of the bugs we have right now, I don't want them. I don't want them. They feel very disruptive. Some of them will break your game. Not a huge fan at the moment. Hopefully there is a patch that's going to address a lot of that soon. But the bedroom is a lot lighter than the rest of the apartment. I went with like a kind of sage green color scheme, and I used one of the new wallpapers, the bed, the dresser. Like I said, add another fireplace, and then this bathroom is huge. It's huge and unnecessary, and it very plainly decorated like the rest of this build, but I liked it. I thought it was nice, and I loved having the tub right in front of that nice big window. At least you got curtains for some privacy. And I also sectioned off the backyard, as you saw before, specifically for the Sims that live upstairs. So they have a little like back garden space with like a grill and a dining table and all that fun stuff as well. But this is pretty much it for the build. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. And I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.